Hi everyone, Saskia here from Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue, and I want to talk about bonding today. I want to show you a bond. I'm going to do a girl bond actually. A lot of people ask me to do girl bonds to see how that looks, the bonding process. And you know, here at the rescue we use a certain area. We have like a little thing set up that I have right here in front of me where we do the bonding. So we just basically put them in together and we're gonna watch and see how they do. Now, online I've read a lot of things about, you know, having guinea pigs live next to each other for like a couple of weeks so they can get used to each other, and then, you know, they should be bonded technically, but you know, it doesn't really work like that with guinea pigs. If you have two guinea pigs living next to each other, and they can literally, they'll sleep next to each other, they can smell each other, they can see each other, and you know what, as soon as that parting goes away, they will act, especially boys, like they've never met before. And it is just funny, and I don't know why they do that, but it's just like men, like they don't know who this other pig is, right? And especially boys can also, if they're inclined to be aggressive, jump into it immediately and start fighting, or start like the rumbling and the teeth chattering and stuff. So that happens immediately once you remove that partition. Girls are a little easier to bond than boys, but you have to just find out how they do by just putting them together and then letting them give them enough time to see if it is a bond or not. So having them live next to each other for a couple of weeks, getting used to each other, really doesn't work with guinea pigs. So the other thing that doesn't work is the buddy bath. I read a lot about that as well, where, you know, they're kind of don't like each other much, so we're gonna put them in a bath together. And I used to advocate that as well. So yeah, just, you know, have them do a bath together, and kind of the experience, which is kind of a little bit, you know, scary for them, will bond them together. And I found that also doesn't really work. So I don't do any of that. We just put them together and then we'll see how they do. And then we decide after like 20 minutes or so, should be a good enough time to know if they're gonna get along or not. So I'm gonna give you my commentary as I'm just putting some piggies together, and we'll see different pairs and see how they do. Females. Okay, I'm gonna pick Pepsi over here, this youngster, and then I'm gonna grab a piggy from here whom she doesn't know. So let's pick a girl from here and we'll see what happens when we put them together. Okay, here we are, and here is Pepsi, Mariana and Pepsi. Okay, that's a 3-year-old. Pepsi is a 4-month-old, maybe 5. Ooh, and they just meet for the first time right now, and I can already tell that Pepsi is dominant. Oh, chattering teeth, girls, that's not nice. You're behaving like boys, ladies, that's not good. So what's going on, I'm seeing, is a lot of insecurity right now, and well, they kind of calm down a little bit. Oh no, there comes the teeth chattering again. So it's kind of unusual, because usually females will just get along fine. So what I'd like to do with the girls, oh, Pepsi, look at you, getting very close. And Ariana might just say, okay, I don't want any of that, and punch her with their nose, because that's what guinea pig girls do. They punch with their nose. So they'll literally just looks like they're punching the other guinea pig or biting, but they're not biting. Actually, what they're doing is punching. And that is kind of a warning, like, stay away from me, you're getting too close, or I don't like you, get out of here. And that is very common with girls. And that is something that, you know, it's just natural. That's their way of communicating. You have to let them do it. So now put the food in and everything is well now in the world of these two guinea pigs. However, when I take the food away, I just wanted them to calm down for a minute. They got off on such a bad footing, so on a bad foot. So let's see. Let's have him erect a little more. Oh yeah, where did that go? Oh no, she's trying to steal hers, and she's not gonna like that. So these two, ooh, and I heard the little hiss there. These two are very aggressive, both of them. So these are very dominant females, and I'm actually putting this to put in between them if they fight. But oh, that's not gonna work, because of course they're gonna eat it. And they're happy friends while they're sharing. My girls. Now, females eventually will get along. That is 95% of the time. So even when you're seeing something like this where they're not getting along so good, if we were to just let them duke it out, and that is okay as long as there is no fighting and blood is being drawn. Because girls can become mean girls, as I like to say, where they're doing that punching thing, where they're doing the chasing thing, and sometimes you'll even see one with a little bit of hair in the mouth, and all of that is part of getting to know each other. Just always make sure you have a big enough cage. So a cage, that an enclosure they're in right now, definitely not big enough for 2 guinea pigs. So that is a big part of it, is the space, so they don't get irritated so fast. And wow, looks almost like you guys are nice and sharing. What's gonna happen now? Let's see. Yeah, you're smarty. You just got some more of this. Let me put that away. Okay, why don't we say hi again? Let's start again from the scratch. Be nice. Shake hands. Be nice, girls. So I am really cautious here because it looks like these girls can get into it at any moment. Literally, one is waiting for the other to make one wrong move so the other one can pounce. And Ariana here on the right, she's the one who's making that hissing sound. Like little puff sounds, like a strong puff. They will sometimes do that. Now, chattering teeth, as we know, is not, we don't like that. It's not a nice sign. It means it is a sign of aggression. Whoa. And there was that nose punch. So one of you has to back down at this point. One of you's got to back down. Or we're going to have a big fight, and we don't need that. But you see, Pepsi's not afraid, left piggy. She will just go right up. And it's just playing a psychological game right now. And again, seeing that move that she just made with her little butt going sideways, that's also part of, like, you know, a pre-attack kind of pose. And of course the nose off, which is what they're kind of doing right now. But none of what I'm looking at right now is particularly encouraging. But again, these two will probably duke it out as long as they don't get into a massive fight here in the next 20 minutes. They will probably just figure it out just fine over the next day. Because usually the females, the cage can be very unsettled. And there is one that's kind of creating havoc everywhere and just like a tornado tearing through the cage and upsetting everyone. And usually within 12 hours, everything is fine in their world. Everything is nice and calm. Okay, so that was not good, because that could have been really bad. So at this point, we are not going to try these two girls anymore, because I don't like that just happened. That tells me that this is not good. This is not going to be good. Drawing blood or a very aggressive attack like that is not what we need. It's okay. You're all fine. Yeah. So let's see. Let's try different girls, because these two are not going to work. And it's unusual again. I have to mention that it is unusual. And of course, food with guinea pigs will fix everything, because they'll eat like nothing happened. It's okay. Are you all upset now? Here, you can have some too. Good girl. All right, next pair. Okay, round two. Shania over here. And okay, Missy. Roxie. Roxie is a younger female. Shania looks to be about a couple of years old. And again, these two have never met. So let's see if we're gonna get to see a normal female introduction, because girls usually are pretty good. Because what we just saw is actually pretty extreme. It usually is more like this, just calmer, and you know, let's hope I'm right, it's gonna be nice. But usually they just, you know, gentle. Often with the female intros, they will behave like they've already known each other. Like, hey, how are you doing? Like they're buddies already. Which is kind of what we're seeing here. We're not seeing any of the teeth chattering or anything. I mean, they're just being nice and sweet to each other. How about a little snack? There. So Roxy's wondering about where the heck am I now, because she's more interested in checking out environment than eating. So she's a little concerned, but not aggressive. None of these two are aggressive. They're really sweet. And you know, a little sniffing is normal, a little butt sniffing, which like dogs do. And of course, Shania's like not caring the world because she has a romaine lettuce in front of her. So who cares about anything else? Yeah, and that's why they call you guys pigs. You just love eating so much. It's okay, Roxy. Okay. So this is how, in the ideal world, it is supposed to be. Very uneventful. They're not interacting overly. Oh, and that's another thing, is that a lot of people say my guinea pigs aren't getting along. And then when I ask a few more questions, and you know, what's making you think that they're not getting along? And it turns out that they're getting along just fine, but what they're not doing is playing together. I hear that a lot. They're not playing together or interacting much. And that actually is normal, because guinea pigs are not like puppies that they would play and, you know, play hide and seek together or whatever puppies do. They don't. So the interaction that you get with guinea pigs is usually eating together like this, and you know, maybe sleeping next to each other, but often they don't do that. They like to have their own separate sleeping corner, sleeping house. And a lot of people mistake that kind of perfect relationship in guinea pig world actually for them not getting along. So make sure you don't mistake those two, because they're kind of, in a sense, they're very social creatures, but then they're also kind of solitary in the sense that they don't really interact as much as a dog would, or kittens or something. So this, I'm sure, is a perfect match, and they will just live together happily ever after. So we've seen two extremes now. We've seen the girls that totally should not be living together. And like I said, very unusual, because usually it's like this, what we're looking at right now. Just two happy girls that like each other. And then this is like, yeah, the perfect match. Alright, this is Fern and two babies. One who's about 3.5 weeks and one who's about 3 weeks. That sound you're hearing in the background, that's a squirrel. It sounds like a bird, but it's a squirrel. Okay, so adult female with baby females. The only thing that can happen that might be of concern with a bond like this is that the bigger girl is going to be a little mean to the baby. And this is actually perfectly normal and natural, because they are kind of teaching the little baby that, hey, I'm older than you, have a little respect kind of thing. And they will do that sometimes by punching with their nose. That's often what they'll do, and I don't know if we're gonna get to see that here at all, because the babies seem a little scared, and so does Fern. So maybe I'll just leave them for a few minutes, and we'll see if they calm down a little bit and relax, so we can really see what their true personalities are. Let's see. Okay, well, this is Jazzy. I switched it over because the babies are not happy right now with the way that cage is set up. So I just want to show what happens if I put a new baby in with a bunch of established girls. There. Uh-oh, here comes Pepsi. Pepsi doesn't even notice that that is a new piggy in their midst. It's maybe because there's a big pile of romaine in front of her nose. And she's exploring. So now all the inhabitants of this cage are eating and completely ignoring the little baby. Oh, she's saying, "Who's that? Who are you?" Now, let's take this. Let's take the lettuce. Sorry, ladies. And then let's force them to be erect. It's so funny. They're all looking like, "Hey, what happened? Where is it? Where'd it go?" It's actually so funny. Well, there's some purring going on from that little ginger head over there, which is normal. A little purring that can happen. The boys do that rumbling type of sound, but females do it as well. Not as much as boys, but they definitely do. All right, Pepsi is just totally ignoring that new little baby. Pepsi, we want to see your reaction. Oh, okay. So now let's see. Is he gonna kick the little baby out? Wow, you seem to really like this baby. Now, usually this is how it goes. They are really sweet to the babies because the baby is just so small and is absolutely no threat to the older guinea pig. Now, grown boys and baby boys, that looks very different. And we will save that for another video. But look how she, who is just definitely the dominant female of this herd, is completely sweet with a little baby. I actually didn't think it was going to go like that. You just never know. You never know until you put them together. It's all about personality, how two personalities interact with each other, the energies of the two guinea pigs, and that comes together, how that clashes or does not. But looks like they're like little sisters, these two. Very sweet. It's really sweet to see that. All right, well, we've seen almost every scenario of the girl bonding. I don't have a neuter male here right now, so I can't show you that. But I think this was helpful. And again, you put them together, you can expect sometimes that one or two are going to be mean girls, that they're going to be chasing the other piggy around. And they do it with the little babies as well, actually, where the little baby will run away and go, oh my gosh, weak, weak, weak. And drama, drama, drama. And there's really nothing going on. It's just normal. But that's when people lose it and just pull them, you know, separate them. And that's exactly when you shouldn't separate them. So unless there is like blood being drawn or like really aggressive behavior like we saw in the first bonding with Pepsi, then absolutely separate, and maybe that might not work out. But generally speaking, females are really, really nice to each other, and they are nice with the babies. But sometimes they will let the baby know, hey, I'm older, I need a little respect, and you need to learn some manners. And they usually do that by punching with their nose. And that is okay. That is okay. All right, well, thanks all for watching. I hope you learned something.